Good evening, folks. Now, on to the radio subject. As all of you saw on my Facebook page, I put and made a statement saying that WTBQ AM 1110 AM 93.5 FM, which is located in northern or upstate New York, they call themselves the #1 Orange County community radio station, #1 in northern New Jersey, with the #1 drive time show. Well, I can declare #1. They are the #1 unprofessional and rudest radio station I've ever encountered. I've been in this thing for 10 years, from college to internet radio and YouTube. And I never thought, and I've had disagreements with two stations. I had one where they were spreading false details about the station's drive, pledge drive. Sort of like we were following in the PBS and NPR thing, and that went out the window because they just destroyed it and ruined it. And then we had another person who just dropped the show and didn't tell us. They claimed about editing and stuff, but that was minor. This is bad because the exchange between me and two people, Frank Truitt, I believe, and the next person is Taylor, and she don't even put her last name in the email, which says a lot. But how this started? Well, many of you know I have a radio show called One Nostalgic Weekend, a 2-hour old-time radio show. It is now being broadcasted on not only my online station, but 22 others. We just picked up a station in Boston. So every year, or when it's near the end of the year, I always email, to my demo, links to my demo, and samples of my shows to stations who either turn me down or just knew to see if they'll be interested. Now, the stations I email are internet radio stations, public radio stations, independent radio stations, and community radio stations. So, no harm, no foul, right? Now, with WTBQ, this is the third time I've emailed them. Now, they have 2 email addresses, and those are the only ones you're able to technically get in contact with because they're the ones in charge of running things, I suppose. So, the first time I emailed them was in 2016, no response. 2017, once, no response. And now we come to 2018. And the response took place last night, or shall I say early this morning at 4:09 a.m. Frank Truitt, apparently the guy that emailed me back, wrote, "Taylor will address this. Please do not email me again." Now, reading that early in the morning, I'm like taken back by it. I said, "What? You got an email address here. How am I supposed to get in contact with you if you don't want me to email?" It was very weird. 8:28, I get the next one. It's from the person named Taylor. And she writes, and I quote, and I am not kidding with you, and if Rick could actually zoom in here to see if we could try to get the email. Yeah, it's much better.
Not really.
Well, let's see. A little bit more.
No.
Well, they could do what they could do. I'll put the screenshot, but you'll see it. I'll read it to you. First, this is very interesting. First, we do not air shows just to air shows. That's how she begins. Second, our hosts pay for their time on the air. I thought you were a community radio station, not a commercial station. From what I understand, when it comes to community radio, a majority or maybe all of them are non-commercial, non-profit. Yet why for this particular station, they call themselves a community radio station, yet a person has to pay to air their show on their station? I heard their station, there's no commercials. Here's what she writes then. At the moment, there is a 1-hour availability on Saturday evening, and the cost will be $150 per week to you or your sponsors. Now, there's no way I'm going to take that deal because number one, I wouldn't pay for it. And second, well, first of all, I can't afford it. And number two, you're only offering me 1 hour when you know it's a 2-hour show. I had stated that. Now, I knew I was going to take it, and I wasn't angry about that. I was going to, walk by it. But this is what she writes, continues. Please do not email Frank again. He does not invite or welcome emails without asking for them. If that's the case, why the hell is his email on his website? That makes absolutely no sense. If a person needs to ask a question about a station, because they don't respond, they tell you to write in there, I guess, small box context us, they never get back to you. So who are you supposed to talk to when it comes to the station situation or the a demo of your show? You got 2 emails, 2 people that run the station. You write to them. The fact that she says that he doesn't invite or welcome emails without asking for them, that makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. And like I said, the email response from both, and it kind of sounds like the same person wrote the last 2 responses. It really does. So my response to her is that I did not expect this type of reply with that type of tone. The tone was rude, and it was unprofessional, and it's like she didn't care and didn't want to be bothered. So I write, first-year community radio station, yet radio hosts have to pay for airtime? That's the first time I've ever heard of that. My show airs on many community radio stations that are non-profit, and I don't have to pay for airtime. I only have to pay as a member once a year, but that's only for one station. Secondly, the tone of both Frank and you come off as unprofessional in my opinion. I mean, if I'm a person emailing both of you guys with a radio show proposal, him or you are going to respond with this tone, rude and unprofessional? What's the point of emails, the email address being posted on you guys' website if you guys are going to respond to people like this? That's unprofessional. That's not how you run a radio station. You don't do that to people. Now, as many of you know, I run an online radio station, 920 WTBQ here in New York City. We just picked up a bunch of shows. I get in contact with every single host and personality. I'm professional with them. I tell them what's going on. I communicate with them. I go back and forth. I've only had issues with 2 people. They're no longer on the station. No longer on the station. One didn't understand the rules. He didn't want to make the promos. He bitched about us promoting his stuff on Mixcloud, which absolutely made no sense. And 3, I mean, it just didn't make any sense. And it's just absolutely unbelievable. And then 1, we picked up a show, and then we canceled it 2 weeks before it premiered because he decided to get on a drunk rampage and just throw me under the bus for no particular reason. This is bad, though. This is bad. You know, because I believe in being professional. If you're going to be in broadcasting, whether it's internet, AM, and FM, you have to be courteous. You have to be a people person. That's the only way people are going to respect you in broadcasting. You know? I'm an internet radio broadcaster. I'm happy to be it. I'm happy to have a product like 920 WN. I'm not going to treat my listeners and my personalities like crap and be rude and unprofessional. I'm not done. It gets better when I write this. I said, the response from you and him was a turnoff. You probably didn't even bother to listen to my show's demo or sample my show. If you did, you would have responded to the last couple of emails I emailed you once every year. 1 in 2016 and 1 in 2017. You didn't respond. Also, if you did listen to the demo or the sample of the show, you wouldn't have said, we do not air shows just to air shows. What the hell kind of a response is that to start off an email reply? Was just trying to find out if you're interested in picking up my show. That's it. The response left a bad taste in my mouth. Rest assured, you won't be hearing from me ever again about my show or anything else I produce. Sincerely, Jonathan Rios, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's the end of it. I said, that's it. I'm not going to give you any of my products, you know, because you guys come off as unprofessional and rude. Well, little did I know that 22 minutes later, this woman had actually responded to the email reply, and that's when you could say, I was right, rude and unprofessional. You're not going to believe this. I mean, you may see a blurb. I want Ricky to zoom in here if he can. I'll read it here. You guys try to see if you can figure it out, and I am not kidding with you folks. I'll put a screenshot to this blurb, but I'm going to read it to you right now. It's from Taylor, the quote-unquote station manager. She writes, and I quote, when you own your own radio station for 24 years, come back and talk with me. And telling someone what they should do and who they are, not so much. First of all, number 1, I was telling you that you were rude and unprofessional and that you should treat people with courteous and professionalism. That's all I was telling you. That was the truth. If you think I'm going to take all this, the rudeness that you gave to me for no reason, I mean, it's a joke. You don't do that, and most of your broadcasters know the situation. You're supposed to be courteous, supposed to be professional. If you run a radio station, you have to be a people person, or else you ain't gonna have no content on your station. Gets better. Please, no more correspondence. And this is the topper. I have to run a Rio radio station. Are you kidding me, man? Are you seriously? So, whoever sees this, who's a friend of mine, has a radio show, or is in broadcasting, or runs a radio station, I want you to spread the word about WTBQ. They are the most unprofessional and rudest station that anybody can imagine. If you are looking to send a demo to their station, don't do it, because the response I got was rude and unprofessional. And of course, the last line that sealed the deal. I am imploring everybody who's in broadcasting or has a show they want to try to get syndicated, do not send anything to WTBQ. I am begging you I'm not begging you, I'm telling you folks. It is the most, you will not get anywhere. You will be left angry and scratching his head and like saying, what the hell is this? Well, who the hell runs this station? Who allows this to happen? And here's the neat thing. I spoke with a friend of mine who's part of what I do, 920 WN, and she told me she's not surprised. So, apparently, this is an ongoing thing. Has happened probably for a long, long time. And if that's the case, I hope what I went through today gets looked at more and more often. Because something's got to be done. Do I think something's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know who's the main owner of WTBQ, but I do know this much. This person, Taylor, has to be exposed. She has to be exposed for what she is. She's unprofessional and she's rude. A station manager should not be that way. A station operator should not be that way. A station owner shouldn't be that way. There is no place in internet, AM, and FM broadcasting for people who are just absolutely rude and disrespectful and unprofessional. There is no room in this business for that. I don't care if you can go and make money out of it. I don't care if you do make money out of it. There's no place in this business for people like that. So, if you're a radio personality that is looking to send a show to any station, I highly recommend you avoid WTBQ because you will not get anywhere. You'll either not get an answer. If you do get an answer, it's not professional. It's not professional. So, that's what I have to say. Again, I picked up another radio station in Boston. I'm happy about that. It makes up from what these people at WTBQ did. But the word has to get out. WTBQ Radio, AM 1110 and 93.5 FM, quote unquote, the #1 Orange County community radio station and #1 North of New Jersey, are the #1 rudest and unprofessional radio station I've ever encountered. Apparently, I'm not the only one. So, that's that. So, I thank you for your time, everybody. If you're a broadcaster or anybody, I want you guys to spread the word on what happened today because it needs to be looked at big time. Radio and broadcasting do not need people like this. So, that's going to do it for me. I thank my cameraman, Ricky, for staying up a little bit late to do this. Once again, beware of WTBQ Radio, the rudest and most unprofessional station on the airwaves. Good night, folks.